Welcome into Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And guys, we have an awesome show for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. Obviously, the 2020 season is over, and we gotta break down that Super Bowl game. But really, the majority of this show, we're getting right into the offseason. We're getting right into the draft. We're talking quarterbacks this week. This week, it's more of a, hey, these are the guys you want to know, right? So if you have not really looked at the class at all, this is going to be your introductory. Hey, these are the guys. We're going to get in depth. We're definitely going to talk some details here. But I'm sure as the season moves on, we'll get into even more in-depth conversation. This is like a precursor to that. We're going to give your rankings because you have your rankings. I'm not 100% sure on my rankings personally. So I'm very excited to have that conversation. I've been looking forward to this for a couple weeks.
Oh,
like this pod.
I love this one.
I love the draft. I mean, this is my zone.
It's the best time of the year.
Oh, it really is. It's great. You know, your team can't lose this time of the year.
Unless you're the Minnesota Vikings and you take a corner every year.
But let's get to the Super Bowl. We watched it together. What was your reactions now after giving it a couple days to set in?
I was ecstatic. I was glad of the outcome, but you could ask me to write down 5 times different versions of this game. Mm-hmm. This would not be one of the 5 in any way that the Chiefs do not score a touchdown. That Tampa is able to dominate in such a defensive fashion like they do, mm-hmm. that Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are nowhere near the top receiving yards in the game. It was just,
didn't even need them.
It was a different game. It was the GOAT being prepared as always, but not having to shoulder the load, and the defense taking care of business. And Pat Mahomes absolutely playing his heart out. I think he earned a lot of respect from a lot more people out there. He left it all on the field. He was trying his hardest. Some of the most athletic, acrobatic passes I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. I mean, those were fun to watch. But overall, man, the game was just not what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
glad Brady won though.
Yeah, no, it was interesting, man. It was crazy because it's like there were 3 throws that I think we kind of all remember that, like, 2 of them, they hit the helmet of the player he was trying to throw it to.
Yes.
Should have been caught. It at least would have made it a game. It would have made it a lot more entertaining if those balls could have been caught. One to Tyreek Hill, one to Darrell Williams. I think it was 31, the running back. That's Darrell Williams, right? Yeah. And I mean, shit.
And Robinson dropped the other one.
That one was a little farther. Like, I don't blame him as much for that one, but still, I mean, you mentioned it before the show. How many yards behind the line of scrimmage did he run?
493.
Jesus Christ! I didn't know that. That's
a
ridiculous.
Record for this season. It's insane to think about. That's how much he had to scramble
on a turf toe injury. Like, he was injured. That's crazy, and you should go. I don't have the logo to put up because it's not ours, so we can't really do that. But you should go online and look up the difference in the dropbacks between Patrick Mahomes, and it shows all the lines of him just running around the field, and then Tom Brady. He just was in the pocket the whole time, didn't have to do. I mean, it's just
chilling.
Yeah,
man.
it was easy living for Tom Brady, and I don't mean that in a detrimental way, and by any means. He had a great team around him, great offensive line, and did everything he needed to do plus some. He was, I mean, shit. I would argue some of his passes last night or on Super Bowl Sunday, they were more impressive than some of the throws he made against the Rams or the Eagles in those Super Bowls.
Talking about Brady?
I'm talking about Brady. Yeah,
yes,
it seems like he looks.
Some of his darts.
He looks 35 again.
He threw that dart to Gronk that was about a 30-yard straight frozen rope. Back of the end zone. I mean, it looked like he wasn't even struggling out there at all in any way. He's running it back, man.
It's crazy. Yeah,
who do you agree with Tom Brady for MVP though? Of course.
Oh yeah, I think
if there was a way that you could do it any other format, it should go to Todd Bowles. The man was an absolute genius. From looking at the way that game went Week 12, where Tyreek absolutely dominated, and Todd Bowles had the highest blitz rating out of anyone out there. On Super Bowl night, it was over an 80% rate with having 2 high safeties and 1 man shadowing Tyreek all the time. He trusted his defensive line. He rarely sent extra blitzers other than his 4 defensive linemen, and the Chiefs' banged up offensive line just wasn't enough to be able to handle all the pressure coming out, man. They played to perfection.
The Bucs played awesome. I do think, and we mentioned on the show last week when we were talking about it, the Week 12 game benefited the Bucs because if the Bucs would have come out trying to blitz and trying to get Mahomes off the spot like they did in Week 12, they thought that was the move then. If they never play this year, if they never play in the regular season,
that's the Super Bowl.
Is that the? Yeah, it might have been. It really might have been.
I think that Tampa would have that mentality of not being humbled yet and saying, man, we have this number 1 defense. We're going to send pressure. We're going to trust our guys. Before you know it, in that game, Tyreek had 150 yards in the first quarter. you can't play catch up if you're Tampa Bay and with that team.
And look, I do think some of the blame does go on Andy Reid and the offensive play calling. Listen, I talked about it last week and the week before, really talking about the way they played the Buffalo Bills. Right, their game plan against the Buffalo Bills was just slice and dice. It was circa 2012 Tom Brady. It was just, easy, right, within your range, not trying to extend the field, just, killing you with those 4 to 10 yard passes over and over and over again. So that was a simplified version of what their game plan was against the Bills. I don't know how you don't go to that really, really fast when you see the way their defense is playing. They wanted to go out and be, the classic Chiefs that do push it down the field. And look, they're going to be able to do that to probably 90% of the NFL, and it's not going to matter because the defensive lines for most of the teams in the NFL aren't going to be able to get after Mahomes, like they were on Super Bowl night. And they'll figure it out. But I mean, the fact that they didn't adjust faster, and they kind of adjust in the second half, but then it gets to the point where they need to score, and Mahomes is trying to make some magic happen, and it just gets back to that same old style. I think it was a mistake. I really did. I wish they would have, realized the game plan that the Bucs were clearly going to go into it with. I mean, it seems like that had to be the logical game plan that we were all thinking.
What was the score going into the half?
It was reasonable. It was what was it, 6 to
maybe,
it was they were losing by 15. It was 6 to whatever
20 or something like that.
21, 6 to 21. Yeah, 6 to 21. That's right.
So there was, and Chiefs were receiving the ball too.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs abandoned the run too fast. I think that was one of the areas where they were actually able to shore up some of that defensive line pressure. They were having to kind of, the linebackers weren't able to fly around everywhere as much as they were. Clyde Edwards was first. It was the first drive coming out of the second half. Gashed him for like 6 yards in a row.
It was nothing less than 5 yards every single clip.
Exactly.
5 yards a clip.
It was working, and then they would get to a point where they would try some deep route combinations, and a sack would happen, or they'd get put back at 2nd and 7 now, or 3rd and 7, and then they just fell behind. And before you know it, Tom Brady. I think the best drive that they had was one that didn't even result in a touchdown, but it ate up 8 minutes on the clock. That was at the start of the fourth quarter. And they chewed some clock. Props to Rojo and props to Fournette. Fournette played his ass off in that Super Bowl, too.
Rojo played good, too. He wasn't in as much, but they both played very well.
Fournette had over 100 total yards and a touchdown.
Crushed it.
It was fun to see. I love Tom Brady. I mean, it absolutely crushes GOAT argument, though. It's over. I thought it was over before.
Yeah, it was. I was like, was there an argument? Who was sitting there saying?
I feel like there's some people out there.
Yeah, look, I think the only
because it was the Patriot system.
The argument that I first of all, he's the GOAT no matter what, regardless of the system and anything like that. So I don't want to take anything away. I think there's this conversation of was it more Brady or was it more Belichick? And I mean the real answer is like, can we just be happy with saying it was a perfect marriage of two great football minds,
quarterback and a damn good coach.
Yeah, but. And then now people are saying, well, Tom Brady moves on and the Patriots sucked. Okay, first of all, the Patriots way outperformed what they should have been. They won like 3 or 4 extra games that they probably shouldn't have won based on their roster alone, plus a couple extra games that Cam Newton threw away with fumbles and dumb stuff. So to say that it's just the concept that it was like all Tom Brady I will fight against. Obviously, Tom Brady was a huge fight. They don't win all those Super Bowls without Tom Brady there. Of course, we know that. But Tom Brady did go to a great team with great weapons around him, brought in extra weapons, and the Patriots had no cap, no nothing, a ton of opt-outs, and there wasn't a whole lot that they could do. So I hate that. That's the only thing I hate is where people are shitting on
Belichick.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Belichick gives a shit because I think he sat back and recognized that they outperformed this year. They did.
Yeah.
They could have had 2 more wins in very easy games where Cam was, he fumbled late twice. And now he has cap. He has draft pick capital coming in and the money to do what you will. I mean, it's Belichick. He's going to be able to field a team. This is what Brady, in Belichick's mind, Brady has a 1 to 3 year window to build the argument to get ahead of him. Belichick's got 15 more. I mean, how much longer to edge up that window, whatever Brady's able to get?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a conversation. My whole thing is like, because I absolutely agree. Bill Belichick, he can win another couple of Super Bowls. We don't know what's going to happen. They're not looking good for 2021. But overall, you've got to feel good about that. It's Bill Belichick. He has to prove to me that he was nothing for multiple years. Like if the Patriots suck for the next 5 or 6 years.
I still don't think that. I still think his legacy is cemented enough.
Yeah, he's the greatest coach of all time, and then he got to coach the greatest quarterback of all time. That's what it was, and that's what it is. I hate hearing people just shit on Belichick because he was down 1 year.
Yeah,
and it's like that's the only part that I would argue about. All right, are we good on? Do you have anything else on the Super Bowl? Anything else to add?
The streaker was cool.
The streaker. Did you hear? Did you see the
streaker?
Did I say
money
that?
story?
I was gonna say,
absolutely.
You want to set it up?
I know what I'm gonna do now.
So tell the
streaker.
story.
There was a bet on some of the websites out there. I know Bovada had it for one. It was plus 750 odds that there would be a streaker on the field at some point during the game. Well, this absolute genius was it $50,000?
$50,000.
There would be a streaker on the field, which would win him over $350,000.
It was $1,000 bail to get out of jail.
He paid it. He ran out on the field. He got all that time.
Had some fun. I mean, it was a great moment. It was the most entertaining part of the second half.
I wish he wouldn't have slid it to one. I wanted him to just balls deep dive to get that touchdown.
Man.
$1,000 versus him winning $350,000. The man had a great night.
Genius.
And if they do not change the rules behind those bets,
that's going to happen.
I swear to God, the camera, look at me. I swear to God, I will do it. I swear. I promise I will.
I
have no fucking humility, bro. I'll do it.
Right there with you.
I'll win that money.
I'll go out and get every single credit card, everything, put it all on Streaker. Put it all on Streaker. Especially if I know for a fact I got the Super Bowl tickets and I'm going to the game. Yeah, I'm streaking.
I swear
I'm there.
I'll do it. I mean it more than anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, hey, let's move on. Let's talk quarterbacks. So the way we're going to do this, like we said, you have the rankings. You're looking at right now. I don't know what your rankings are. I have no idea. We really haven't talked. We've avoided talking about this. I'm really excited. I have my draft notebook notes on every player. Don't have my rankings yet. There's a certain I don't exactly know how I'm going to do. Probably 4 through 6. I'm not 100% sure, but for the most part, I feel good about my my assessment of all these guys. So we'll go through it. Let's go. You want to go? How do you want to do this? 1 to 6 or 6 to 1?
1 to 6.
1 to 6.
I think because the 1 is so.
Yeah, we all know.
There's no surprise here.
Yeah.
So I will start it off by saying that it's Trevor Lawrence.
Of course.
He's the clear. I didn't even write that many notes on him. He is the clear-cut number 1 for me. His leadership, his poise, his willingness to win games. Carrying Clemson the way he has. I say carrying, but I mean there are times where he has been doing exactly that.
Yeah.
He's been the guy since his sophomore year at high school.
Yeah.
My only knock, there's a few knocks if you want to get into mechanics on some things, but that's for anyone. Can he handle this pressure? This is an immense amount of pressure that's going on him when you looked at him being the All-American game in high school going to Clemson. Now he surpassed expectations there. So now he's going to the NFL being labeled as the greatest prospect to come out since Andrew Luck. And in my opinion, I think he's going to be better than Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think he is well suited for it. I think that Jacksonville will be ready for him with Urban Meyer too. I think he's got a great team of coaches around him. But Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree. First of all, I mean, this is a more athletic Peyton Manning. This is Andrew Luck, but a little taller, right?
You don't know what my pro comps were?
What?
Andrew Luck and mobile Peyton Manning.
Yeah, okay, so we're on the same page there. Yeah, look, so I mean, absolutely, we don't need to talk about. There's gonna be thousands of people that are gonna go in depth on Trevor Lawrence, and I'm sure we will at certain points. But right now, let's get down to the more important guys really quick. Yeah, I agree with the pressure. It hasn't phased him yet. I remember when he won the championship his true freshman year, and he was appreciating it, but it kind of just looked like he was ready to run it back. It looked like right after the game he was ready to run it back. He wanted to go again. I think the biggest question for Andrew Luck coming out was his competitiveness. There was always he can do, he doesn't need the game or anything like that. That was definitely a question, and that was a fair question. Let's be honest.
He was right. Let's be honest.
So I don't get that same sense from Trevor Lawrence. Obviously, probably doesn't need the game. I mean, probably gonna be a millionaire after, he will be a millionaire in a couple weeks or a couple months. But yeah, no, I think maybe that's the only thing. Pressure, yeah, I just think he's a different kind of guy. I mean, my big thing is, the only question to me is, after his first loss or after his, run of losses with the Jags early on or something like that, does that get to him? I think that's my only big question.
Handle adversity
because I've never seen adversity from him. That's the only big question for me. Exactly. Is just the adversity. But yeah, I absolutely agree. We'll move on. I think that's that's
I have good landing spots mentioned, but for Trevor Lawrence, I didn't even bother with that.
Yeah,
anyone would. I think that he will come into the league being a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I definitely agree.
Number two, Zach Wilson.
Absolutely agree. I'm glad we agree on this.
It's Zach Wilson.
I have a lot on Zach Wilson.
Before I started digging into the film and really looking at it, I had a Justin Fields bias. I really like Justin Fields too, and we'll get to him later on. But I had to go back and look at Zach Wilson. He has a rocket arm. He does an amazing job. He's up there with Trevor when it comes to being able to evaluate the field and looking through his reads.
Yeah.
I can show you countless times where he goes 1, 2, 3, and still finds the 3 and fits it through a tight NFL window throw. It's the off-balance throws that the league is transitioning to right now. The ability to make plays, be exciting, electric. He is a good leader. I think he is a for sure number 2 pick overall for the Jets if they're not able to somehow wheel and deal for this Deshaun deal. And I think the Jets are getting a damn good quarterback who will be a superstar in the league.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Look, I'm going to double down a little bit. I don't know how you feel about the rankings, but for me, 1 and 2 aren't close. For me, it's Trevor Lawrence. We know,
of course,
and he's set.
Huge
and
gap.
And for me, it's Zach Wilson, which there's definitely a gap there. Obviously, it's Zach Wilson, and then there's another gap. For me, Zach Wilson is the clear cut number 2. I don't get it. A buddy of mine I saw post Zach Wilson as number 4. I don't get that. It made me question if he's watching the film. I don't see how you can watch him play 3, 4, 5 games and not just, studies, mechanics, all those things, and not think he's the clear cut number 2. I think he would have been the number 2 last year. He would have been the number 2. I'm a huge fan of Zach Wilson. So you mentioned surveys the field. That's in my notes. Very, very good at getting to 1, 2, 3 progressions. You talk about negativity. Has a little bit of an elongated release. I think he'll probably go to Jordan Palmer or some other top quarterback coach, and they'll probably tighten that up just a little bit. Not a bad thing. Just a little bit at the back end was a little bit longer. Rocket arm.
Yes.
I mean, it can make every throw.
The phrase elite arm talent gets used way too much in today's league.
And
Zach Wilson does have
Zach Wilson's there. Zach Wilson's going to be right under a Josh Allen. He's going to be right under, I would say maybe Deshaun Watson, that level arm. Deshaun Watson has an awesome arm. He's, maybe doesn't have the ultimate arm strength of some of the top guys, but super, super good arm. Incredibly accurate in mid to short range. Love that. And really, I mean, his pocket presence is really good. He handles the pocket really well. He looks like an NFL quarterback. He's ready to start day one. Signed, still delivered. I'm good. I love him. And also, we didn't even talk about mobility. Duke can get out of the pocket.
Yes,
Duke can move. I mean,
he fits right into. That's why my pro comps for him are Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield. Russ is able to do the same thing. Rocket arm, surveys the field. And the thing about Russ and Baker here is that it is one knock that I have for Zach Wilson: undersized.
Okay.
But he is able to use that in all of his favors. I mean, it's the same thing for Kyler in certain areas. Rocket arm, they're able to make these electric plays. Their size doesn't matter at a certain point because you don't care.
I absolutely, and look, that's funny because I don't do player to player comps, but I do comps on certain things. And when he's outside the pocket, he reminds me of Baker Mayfield.
He does
the way because Baker Mayfield's so good at throwing on the run. And so is Wilson. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And just when he has time to set his feet and let the ball fly, it is a rope anywhere on the field. I mean, it is just. I mean, it's awesome. So I absolutely agree. Anywhere else you want to go with him? I'm going through my notes. I don't see anything else.
I have good landing spots, and it would pretty much be any of these teams: Lions, Jets, Jags, Falcons, Dolphins, Washington. And the reason I have that is because it lets people know, or I want them to know, that I think this quarterback has the ability to go to this team. Mm-hmm. Some of them have lack of talent, devoid of talent, and I think he could still turn it around and do well there.
Yeah.
Because, Mac Jones could go to any team necessarily, but I'm not going to put him at the Lions because I don't think he's going to do good there. You know? I don't think he is good enough. He doesn't have the it factor. Zach Wilson has the it factor.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I can't imagine the Jets passing on him at number 2. I really can't. Assuming
unless they pull off Deshaun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, assuming there's no other moves made, obviously. And honestly, look, as a Dolphins fan, if he's there at number 3, and the Dolphins tried to move Tua for a late first or something and got Wilson, I'd be happy as shit.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I really would. Just personally. I think I know what Tua is, or I
think he has the it factor.
I think Wilson can be a legit top 10 quarterback in the NFL for a long time. Awesome player. Yeah, let's move on. What's your number 3? This is where it gets murky for me, I'll be honest.
This is where it gets murky, and my number 3 and 4 should pretty much be 3A, 3B.
Okay.
It's very close. Number 3 is Justin Fields.
Okay.
Justin Fields, his mobility is a plus for me. His touch passes are a plus. His throw on the run is great. Decision-making is excellent. Tight window throws, he has some. There are times, I love his toughness, by the way. The way that he played in the game against Alabama, he has grit, he has heart, he has all of that. Now, the negatives. He doesn't always set his feet. He doesn't get past his first read a lot. There are times at Ohio State where that was all that was there and it was open, so he threw it. But, you kind of want to see these quarterbacks handle bad games, handle adversity. And I can also show you many times where Justin Fields missed the easy throw. That's my last one, is he missed the easy throw.
Goes into the dirt a lot. Yeah.
There's times where he can nail that window. Like that tight window that you see, that is NFL ready. But then there's times where Chris Olave beat the guy straight up and all he has to do is throw a 20-yard just little lob pass over and airmails it.
Yep.
Or he's trying to throw a flat to his running back, and like you said,
in the dirt.
In the dirt.
Yep.
So some of these things, mechanic issues, he's going to have to get a hold of.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Look, I do think Justin Fields will end up being my 3, and this is where it gets murky because there's things I love about. You mentioned the toughness and the grit. God, like he's a dude I want to play for.
He's very tough.
I mean, I want to play for anybody, but like he's a dude I want to play for. He's an awesome guy. Seems like a good dude. One of my bigger issue is the fact that the second the pocket breaks down, he's off. He's ready to run.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. I like his arm. I do. I think it's. I compare his arm to like a 2 arm, and I like 2 was a good arm, but it's not like an elite, special armor by any means. I think he is more like he's the athlete more than the passer a little bit, and I that's not really fair. I don't think. I think he has a very good arm. He can throw. He can make every pass for the most part. I don't love his release on a deep ball. He has
baseball.
He has
background.
a base. Yeah, does he have a baseball background?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, but I literally have it says looks like a baseball release. It looks like he's throwing a baseball when he's throwing the football downfield. He's got to tighten that up. Got to get that more crisp. I mean, there was one play, I can't remember the team he was playing against, where he does that full. It looks like he's going, and a defensive end just kind of bats the ball when it's all the way back here, kind of, and that's going to happen a ton in the NFL if he can't. Again, I don't worry too much about the release and the footwork and stuff like that because I feel like most of that should get fixed by the Jordan Palm. Like, I mean, we saw Josh Allen's. He was able to fix his accuracy. I've seen enough guys make that progression in the NFL. If you have the physical ability, we can work on the mechanics and all that. But it's certainly worth mentioning. For me, the mechanics and certain things like that are why I have a ton of notes on him, by the way. Like, I have so much on him. But for me, that's why he's not like I think he needs a year. I really do. I think he needs a year to progress. He's certainly not this number 1 go in. I would be shocked if the Jets took him at 2. I really would. I think there is a certain amount of drop off.
There is a world in which they do, but they shouldn't, because the way that I look at it is superstar potential and ceilings.
Yeah.
Trevor's is there. Trevor's is the fucking moon and then some. Zach Wilson has potential like that, and if I were to rate it on a 0 to 100, I think it's a 70, 75 that Zach Wilson hits.
Yeah.
That's hard for me to do, that he hits. Justin Fields will need to go to the right system. He has all the talent that you could want. Some areas you need to shore up here and there, yes, but there is a chance. I think my number 3, and I said 3A, 3B, they're the last 2 in the class that have a chance to hit that ceiling.
Okay.
Pro comp, Dak Prescott, my ceiling for him, Deshaun. I
could see him being Deshaun.
There's a world where he can find that.
I get that. I do get that.
I said Dak just to play it safe.
Yeah, I get that. He doesn't have the arm that Deshaun has, but I would probably I think he can move a little bit better than Deshaun, and Deshaun can move great, so it's just a compliment more than anything. A couple other things. I wish he would throw. I wish I could have seen a little bit more of him throwing with like people around him, like Zach Wilson and one other guy we're going to talk about. So good at guys are around him, pocket's not clean, and he's getting throws off. That was one of my biggest complaints about Tua last year. Is the pocket was perfect, and he is super accurate, mid to short range, very accurate when his feet are set and everything's good. Things get messy. He's bolting. He's going for the run. Yep. I don't like seeing that.
Can't get scared right
now. Yeah. And there's a lot more I could go through with Justin.
This is our quarterback show. Man.
No, well, so another thing about him is, I wish I could stand up. I can't really stand up to show this. When he is set and in his stance, right, like in the back, like surveying the field type of stance, he has a tendency to let his legs get way too far apart. And what happens is it feels like he's just not able to really create a whole lot of power from his top half.
Yeah, you got to have torque.
Yeah. So like, I mean, you know, he creates good power, but every once in a while he'll get his legs too far apart. He's not able to step into the throw enough because they're already there. It looks like he's already stepped into the throw, but he's just standing there. You know what I mean? Very weird. I think when I do a draft profile and video, and I'll be able to show it a little bit better because I'll have the visual to explain it. But for now, that just bothers me. Again, that just goes back to footwork and things like that. A lot of things need to get fixed. My last thing, and this is something that bothered, you know, I think it was a long time ago in the pod, I think, you know, probably last offseason when I was like, you know, I'm not sold on Justin Fields. You know, like when we were going to last season, it was Lawrence and Justin Fields that were kind of the guys, and that always happens and things change. But my biggest issue then, and it's definitely something I notice now, although I definitely liked him a lot more than I think I thought I was going to, I'll say that. It feels like he is putting just as much work into the 5-yard out route as he is the 25-yard corner route. You know what I mean?
Sounds like last year Cam Newton.
Yeah,
it really does. When it comes
exactly.
to just throwing a 5-yard, you're just like putting the shit on him.
Yeah,
bro.
like why is he winding up so much to make this pretty, like, you know? And I'm going to compare him to other guys in the class. So it's like the Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah, can just do side-on flicks.
It's nothing to get these balls out, you know. And I think you want to see it. There's another guy that I'll talk about. Nothing to get these easy throws out. And for me, just a little bit too much, working a little bit too hard. I think that's for the most part. That's everything I have on him. Anywhere else you want to go with it?
Nope.
You're good with it?
I think.
What was your comp on him again? You said Dak?
Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Floor.
Okay.
I think a floor Dak.
Oh, floor is Dak. See, I think Dak's pretty good.
Sorry. Floor is the wrong term.
Yeah, I think. Can I give the floor? I think for me, the floor could be like what Jalen Hurts type of thing.
I mean, honestly,
and Jalen Hurts hasn't hit his potential yet.
You can take floor back.
Yeah. I'm saying like I could see him being, you know. I don't know. I could see the floor being not awesome, but yeah.
I think it is most likely that he can rise up to a Dak Prescott.
Yeah, or
I think if he's able to tap into what some of the things that I see and some of the similarities could be a possible Deshaun.
Yeah, and I do like that. I do like that ceiling. I do like that ceiling because you're right. It's there. There's potential. And hey, Deshaun was not a sure thing coming out. You had to work on a lot of things.
I think it will be harder than a Zach Wilson. Like, you know, for Zach Wilson to hit what he can hit.
Yeah, absolutely agree. All right, what's your? Can I guess who your number 4 is?
Yeah.
Are you gonna say Trey Lance or are you gonna say Kyle Trask?
I don't know.
Oh man, I'm gonna say. Are you thinking Kyle Trask?
No.
Is it Trey?
It's Trey Lance.
Okay.
And that's how close it should be. Trey Lance is a physical specimen.
Yeah.
The knocks for him are out there, but a lot of it just goes into film study, and we haven't seen him perform against, you know, this elite competition. He was limited in this COVID year because he sat out. Lower competition. One problem that I have with him is that he runs into contact a lot, especially defensive backs. It's awesome. You'll make the top 10 trucking DBs, but you'll also be out of the league in 5-6 years if you do that in the NFL all the time. He's 6'3", so he's not a Cam Newton 6'6" build who can just handle this wear and tear, and we're still seeing the negativity from Cam doing that for so long, you know? Field vision, kind of iffy here and there, and he is a raw product. He's a raw talent. He's a project, but the thing about projects is, oh my God, if you put the time and work into it, you could find a diamond in the rough. And I think Trey Lance is that man. His positives for me: solid frame, NFL ready body, strong arm, physical freak. Mobility gets a double plus for me. He's a project quarterback. High risk, high reward. If Lance falls with the right team, he will light the NFL on fire. Playmaking ability and accuracy. And one more thing too that I watched. He wants to beat you with his arms before his legs. He does do a good job about that. When he stays in the pocket and he is able to look at some of his reads, yes, there's designed runs. That's the way that the team played their offense. But he wants to beat you with his arm.
Okay. I agree with that. I had first of all, mobility, check. I mean, you gotta love that. I think he is. Now, to be fair, let's rein this in. He's not Lamar or Kyler out there.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, so
they're run first.
Yeah. Well, and especially in college and just for, you know, they're so fucking, you know, those guys are just incredibly explosive. That's not what he is. He is. Can I say a couple steps over what Carson Wentz it was coming out. Carson Wentz has slowed down a lot.
Mobility.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. Okay, so yeah, I'll give you that. That's a really good one. I hate his release. I hate his throwing, and there's a lot. There's a lot. It's definitely the worst one. Has a Tim Tebow-ish thing, gets it all the way back here to. Man,
it looks like it's got some power on it though.
It's awkward as hell. It bothers me. That's probably my biggest critique because I don't. It's one of those things with all the other guys when we talked about the release, like we just talked Justin Fields. Fields. Look, there's certain things he needs to work on.
Fields is being nitpicky, though.
But Fields, like, it feels like you can come back that motion and we're going to be fine. I don't know. I don't know. Like, is he getting all his power from back here? Is that what is happening? Because that was kind of what the Tim Tebow knock was. He was getting all his power from back here, and once you try and fix that, the arm
Trey
talent
Lance
went
has
down.
An absolute, to put him in the same sentence as Tim Tebow, though.
No, I'm talking.
Yeah, strictly release.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
Let's be clear. When I compare quarterbacks, I'm talking about one specific single thing to one specific single thing. So when I say release, I'm just talking release. He has far more arm talent than a Tim Tebow on his worst.
He has the arm talent.
Yeah, no.
Trey
So
Lance
let's get that. Yeah, piss missiles, fastballs. I mean, my favorite phrase is piss missiles. Throws piss missiles all over the fucking field. Has arm strength for days. Yeah. So I'm glad you corrected that or at least brought that up. Absolutely right. But it does bother me, and I hope that arm talent isn't coming from the release. That's just a question mark. It's certainly a question mark. You said he's a project. I think he's a big project. I really do. I think I'm going to compare him to a guy I got a lot of shit for liking last year in a Jordan Love. I don't think he has as much like arm strength or I'll say arm talent as a Jordan Love. I thought Jordan Love had a little bit more. Now he's a lot more accurate than Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I mean, had no control.
That's the thing that I think Trey Lance doesn't get enough credit for is his accuracy. Yeah. He is very accurate.
Yeah. Another issue I had, off balance throws. Didn't see enough of it. I think a lot of the times though, he was just, when he was off balance or when he was in trouble, in a lot of trouble, he just ran. So it's not really a detriment. I'm not saying he can't do it, but like I didn't see it enough to think he can do it. And a couple times I did see it, hit the dirt a little bit too often for me. Like I think you said it perfectly. He is a project. I don't want him starting in 2021. I think wherever he goes,
there's a realm where he can start. Right?
Really,
it should not be recommended.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want him to.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
him
to.
To get the most out of him, to find the most out of him, just let him do a Jalen Hurts approach.
Yeah. I would love for him to go.
He can get his feet wet going into next year.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to start.
I think if the Saints want to, their Saints are in cap hell. So if the Saints give James Winston a very, I'm assuming that Drew Brees is gone. I could be wrong on that, but I'm assuming Drew Brees is gone. So Saints give James Winston a pretty team friendly deal. Draft Trey Lance. If Trey Lance doesn't end up progressing, you might still have a James Winston to back up. He might be the dude, but then you at least have you have a couple big armed dudes, and Trey Lance is much more mobile than James Winston ever was. I think that would be an interesting.
Is Trey Lance territory 10
really
to 18.
10 to 18.
Yes. Do you think he's going past that?
I think it's tough for. I mean, because 10 to 18 is where you're drafting. I don't think do you draft a.
Yeah, I have 49ers, Falcons, Panthers, Eagles, Washington, depending on some of the orders and where trade ups, trade downs can happen. Saints, 10 to 18.
So, but for me, 10 to 18 is like teams are going to need him to start pretty soon. Like 10 to 18 is that range where it's like, yeah, we have a guy that's going to start for 3 weeks before we put you in.
And I think Trey Lance could go to the 49ers and start day one and be good. I think he could do that in the 49ers system with Kyle Shanahan backing him.
That's interesting.
I think if he goes to Washington, on the other hand, I don't want him starting day one right there.
Yeah.
It just depends on the system and the supporting cast and the coaching that is around him. Saints, 49ers, home runs. Mm-hmm. I think he would thrive there. I think we would see the most of Trey Lance. I think we would see the accurate guy who doesn't have to feel like he needs to do it all day one with nothing around him. I think Trey Lance can do really good things.
Okay.
I like him a lot.
I certainly like him.
So
I like the potential.
Him 20 to 32.
Yeah, I could see him going. I definitely could see him going first round.
The next two quarterbacks should not be in contention.
To me, look, I don't think this class is as good as everyone's saying it is. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 top 5 quarterbacks. I think a Justin Fields is the 10 to 18 range. Maybe if the Lions want to take a shot on him or something like that. I could see that. Honestly, I could see Carolina being a good spot for Justin Fields. And then we get into, I think Trey Lance is definitely an interesting player. And
I think people will see the hype and not want to miss it.
I could see the hype. The other part of it for me, and this isn't fair to him, but it's like where he played, I wonder, how much is this I'm seeing the athleticism, I'm seeing everything else compared to guys that are going to be, selling insurance.
We're seeing a true elite D1 athlete play D2-ish schools.
Yeah, so I just, it's a little bit harder to grade in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's definitely a lot of potential, but I mean, 10 to 18 feels like a guy that like he's waiting in the wings and he's coming soon. And I
want the Vikings to draft him.
Really? Okay. See, I would disagree.
Wholeheartedly.
I would disagree with he can start year one. I would even if he's on 49ers, I would disagree. That's my own big thing. Look, if he goes 10 to 18, I'm not gonna be mad. I don't not by any standards. And quarterbacks go earlier anyway, so I could see it. But Trey Lance, I think he's not for everybody. Also, I would say that I think I want the right team. You mentioned like if Washington grabbed him. Man, I'm not excited about that. I'm not nearly excited.
There's a way that it works, but it's just a harder road.
I want the team that can afford to put him, like, I mean, honestly, the Jordan Love situation, he was put in a perfect spot. He's not even going to have to pretend to try and start, you know? So, like, that's a perfect situation for him. So, whatever potential he does have, if I'm right or wrong, whatever it is, he's going to have every chance in the world to cultivate his skills, and when he's ready, you know, or it'll either hit or he doesn't. That's how I feel about Trey Lance. I want that similar kind of situation. So we'll see what happens with him. I'll let you move on. I have no idea where you're going with this next.
My pro comp is Josh Allen and Diet Josh Allen because he's not as big. He has the arm, he can run and stuff. That's great. And Ryan Tannehill, actually.
Really? Okay.
Ryan Tannehill for Trey Lance coming out.
Yeah, I get that because Ryan Tannehill is pretty accurate, off balance and stuff like that, and
I'm saying that's why I think Trey's.
Yeah, I see that.
Tannehill is playing elite ball right now. He doesn't get the title at all, but he is a top 10 quarterback.
It's because he's playing within the system, and people are going to give him shit. The thing that nobody realizes is when they throw, they're throwing downfield. Tannehill doesn't get a lot of easy passes. Like he definitely has the dump off that he can throw for sure.
Man, but when they leave him in those hard spots,
dude. He's consistently hitting down the field, tough throws that just people see a dude throw 25 yards down the field on a rope and don't think twice about it. Like, man, no, that's a really fucking good play. And when it's I don't know. I absolutely agree. Tannehill's playing great ball.
Derrick Henry, offensive MVP.
Yeah.
But there are times where first down doesn't work and then second down doesn't work, and you have a 3rd and 9 play action where Tanny has to drop it between the numbers and the and he does. And I think Trey Lance has that potential to be a really good play action, mobile quarterback, and even better than that. I like Trey Lance a lot,
and Trey Lance is much thicker than Tannehill. That's why I like the diet Josh Allen because I like that a lot. That's a good one.
But he's still a big dude.
That's good. I don't have any comps for him, so that's a great one.
Number 5. This is where I think you will not agree with me. This is where I think I wanted to go higher.
Oh wow. Okay.
I wanted to go higher with him, but I can't. I can't yet. Mac Jones. Okay. Mac Jones had an amazing Senior Bowl. Mac Jones had an amazing year. Mac Jones had a Heisman caliber worthy season. And look, the plus is great pocket presence, a beautiful deep ball that can contend with Trevor's. And when you're looking at strictly deep ball to deep ball in the class,
absolutely. And he can do it off balance too.
He can. Yeah. Good reads, especially in an RPO system like Sarkisian was running at Alabama with Saban. Tough passes. We didn't have to see a lot of them because he wasn't asked of that. Good mechanics, though. I like his mechanics.
Oh, yeah.
I have a plus-minus here. Leadership was the last plus. Plus-minus, he's a pocket passer. The reason it's a plus, it's like, you know what you're getting. The minus is the league is transitioning into a different era right now to where pocket passers are slowly being phased out. And I think we will see in the next 5 years, everyone has to be able to have that fold of mobility in them. Mac doesn't have that right now. No. Minus, Alabama prospect. Talent around him, first rounders out the ass. Mobility, minus. Minus again, needs a solid system around him, i.e. established franchise to draft him, i.e. New England Patriots.
Okay.
Bears. I don't know. I don't think
Bears.
That Mac should
I wouldn't say Bears, but okay.
Well, I think they have a good. Okay, Matt Nagy, never mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Bears, but I got you.
Saints. I like the weapons that they have around them going on.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get where you're going.
NFL or pro comps for me: Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning.
Yeah, so this actually...
You don't like it?
No, we're going to disagree on this one. So I mean, to be fair, I think you prepared for this. I like him more than I thought I would.
Oh,
so I'll put it
Steelers and Colts.
Steelers and Colts. Okay, so that's a good one. Yeah, I like him more than I thought I would. I'll put it. I'll state there because I shit on him a couple times on this pod, and I would like to take that back because he definitely has some stuff. Like
upgrading to dirt isn't good though, John.
Yeah, that's about what it is, though.
Damn.
All right, so let's unpack this. I'm gonna go personal here for a second. So this is not Mac Jones' fault at all, but I feel like over the past I'm gonna say 3 years, before we started the pod, but like when I was still kind of really getting into to scouting and I was putting out my my quarterbacks and stuff. I feel like I always got shit on for falling in love with the big-armed, mobile guy.
You do.
And I do, like, because Josh Allen was my number one. I was very, I don't get credit for this because it was really...
That's why you don't like Mac Jones.
Well, no, I'm just kind of going through. But the type of guy I like, that's where the NFL's going. And, like, sue me for liking the guy who can throw the ball. Like, I like guys who are really, really good at throwing the football. That's my thing. I don't know.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like wide receivers who are really, really fast. I like running backs who are really, really
Listen,
elusive.
Mac can throw the ball.
No. I'm talking me for a second. So I want to take a step back. So with all that being said, that's where the NFL is going. When's the last time we've seen a Mac Jones level guy hit? And this is purely for because we're going to get into what I like and dislike about him for a second. But for me, Mac Jones has to be a second round pick. He has to. You're taking him in day 2 or day 3 because he is. I haven't seen a guy hit like this. I mean, this style of quarterback, and we've seen guys that are even more mobile than Mac not be able to make it. I get it. I definitely get it. But like we've seen miss after miss after miss with this style of quarterback lately in the past 5 years.
Mac Jones should not be a first round pick. I'll say that.
Okay, cool. So we're on the same. We're on a similar page.
It screams Jacob Eason to me. And I'm not comparing the way they play. I'm saying the hype behind, oh my God, last year before Brady signed with Tampa.
I get that.
15 overall, they're going Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason is a first-round quarterback. Nixon, where did he go?
He was connected to the Colts for a while.
Fourth round or something?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance
that's a Mac Jones.
The fall's going to happen, yes.
I absolutely agree. Okay, so then we're on the same page. We're not going to disagree that much. Big things, you mentioned it. I have it in my notes. Grading Alabama quarterbacks is the hardest thing. Like, it is harder to grade Mac Jones than it is Trey Lance. And Trey Lance should be harder because he's on, a no-name school or whatever.
Limited film,
But Bama, it's just how much of this is Bama? Because you go back to last year, he was throwing to 4 first-round picks at wide receiver, a top-end running back, great offensive lineman, and then you go to this year,
4 first-rounders on the line.
three first-round picks. I mean, sorry, you got 2 this year, and number 8, Metcalf or I don't know, Mechie. Yeah, he's gonna be. He's
a first-rounder.
He's a dude. So that's to come. But yeah, so he's had it so easy. That's the first thing. My biggest issue with because you mentioned all the good things. You're absolutely right. Quick release, mechanically very good, solid in the pocket, like stands tall in the pocket, and that's something I really like for these type of guys. Stands tall in the pocket. You gotta love the deep ball. Very accurate. Pretty much everywhere on the field. A couple little things here, like there's some accuracy issues I found, but for the most part, very accurate. Think he sees ghosts a little bit when it comes to people rushing him. There were a couple times where like he had a clean pocket, and I think I saw it enough times where it was very concerning to me. Clean pocket, everything's good, and then like he takes the ball down and he starts looking at the rush. Nobody's there. Ends up taking a sack or throwing it away or dumping it off when like he was fine. He was good. Like I think he sees ghosts a little bit as far as rushing. Has a tendency also, and this is something that was super weird to me because he never really had to. There was like 2 times that he did it where he had to, but for the most part, like he never had to do this. Leans all the way back to throw the ball, like really weird. Every once in a while, it feels like he's leaning back to make a throw, and he's accurate doing it. He is, but I don't know why he's doing. I mean, you lose a lot of power when you're not stepping into the football. I mean, that's common sense. So I don't know why he does that. So certain little things from technical things, those things are amplified. Like if I saw that from like a Trey Lance or a Zach Wilson or things, I would be like, man, that bugs me. But I get it. But from a guy who's been playing behind the Alabama offensive line, man, it ain't going to get easier in the NFL.
I just think it's such a discredit.
That's the part that scares me.
It's hard. It is, because look at what we've seen with Tua now.
Yeah.
And Tua was a better prospect than Mac,
for sure.
We're already seeing his inefficiencies in the next level.
Yeah. Which he can get better.
He can. We're not sticking a fork in him by any means, but these are the problems that we see out of a better prospect than Mac. Mm-hmm. We can only assume that Mac does have his faults too, and that they're going to get shown. And not being able to rely on your mobility also adds a new fold to it. So, yeah, I think it's just so unfair for Mac, though, that we give him the Alabama title because... but it's what's going to happen. He showed up to the Senior Bowl. He had great leadership abilities.
He played well. I didn't hear.
He played really well. I think he was one of the better quarterbacks there, and he needed to have the best Senior Bowl in order to do it. But I still just don't see a team really. There's no way you take him in the first round. I don't think.
I always put myself in these kind of shoes. There's no way I'm tying my horse to Mac Jones as far as like a first round pick.
And in a first round pick, you're tying it.
If I'm a GM, you get graded on the quarterback you draft, and if you draft a bust, you almost always lose your job for the most part, And I can't.
But I go back and look at some of these others, man. Dwayne Haskins got taken.
Yeah, miss.
Clear
but
miss.
that was for a different reason. He was a miss because of what was between his ears. I mean, for the most part.
And
so
I'm just saying, I see quarterbacks that I like I like Mac more than I like to Dwayne Haskins if I were to compare strictly college-based what we're looking at.
Okay. Yeah, I think I probably would have liked Dwayne, but it's similar.
I'm saying it's just the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I think I probably would have liked Mac Jones more than I liked Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of crazy to think. He went 6 overall.
And is playing well at times.
But to be fair, I mean, the Giants would be the perfect team because the Giants want to recreate Eli Manning. And Mac Jones could go in. He can. You said it.
Eli Manning.
In a best case scenario, he can be an Eli Manning or a Phillip Rivers. That's not where the NFL's going, and that's probably the biggest issue.
That's the problem. That's why his ceiling is there. I see Mac Jones more hitting towards a Nick Foles in the NFL.
Yeah,
I think that's. But
solid backup that's going to be in the league for a long time.
Solid backup, be in the league for a long time. There is a world though. I do want to paint this for me because I really like Mac, where he is a above average starter in the league.
So. Okay. Yeah. No. I
Jared
get that.
Goff.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. Jared Goff's not a mobile quarterback. How did Jared Goff go number 1 overall?
He shouldn't have.
Like looking back, but everyone was on that. It was the can't miss. It was the thing.
Yeah. I feel I wasn't really paying a lot of it. I wasn't scouting then.
It was different. We were a lot younger.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz should have been the number 1 that year as far as like.
But was that
he would if that class were coming out this year, Carson Wentz would go ahead of Jared Goff just based on where the NFL's going. So yeah, I get that. I mean, I don't think Jared Goff's is your best argument because I look at Jared Goff as a future really good backup in the NFL. For a long time.
No, I'm using that and just saying why was Goff so highly praised? Yeah. In the same way that we knock Mac Jones, who now could fall into 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th round.
Yeah, I mean, it's changing the tides a little bit. Last thing I want to say, I feel like I've seen the comparison. I think I've made the comparison. I want to like nip that in the bud a little bit. The Georgia quarterback that came out last year,
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, Jake Fromm. He is much better than a Jake Fromm. That's not who he is because Jake Fromm was like billed as this, this pocket passing quarterback. Mac Jones has a much better arm than Jake Fromm ever did. Mac Jones is honestly, I mean, just as mobile probably, and Mac Jones can move. He's just not an NFL mobile quarterback. He's not going to make a living moving. He can do it if he needs to. He did a handful of times. I feel like at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean,
but
Big Ben can do it if he needs to.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it. Anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there. Is there anything else that you wanted to throw out there with Mac Jones?
Mac can hit.
Mac can hit. Okay.
Mac can hit.
Yeah, I look at him as a quality backup.
But you do not tie your horse to him.
Yeah.
Mac can hit. Mac at the Saints. Mac could do that.
Yeah.
Mac could throw it to Slant Boy, and he could hand the ball off to Kamara.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Slant Boy because Carlton Davis shut that ass down. I say that. I'm not.
But he was hurt, bro.
I'm not a Michael Thomas guy. I'm sorry.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
That's fine.
All right. Hey,
we'll get hate for that one.
That's okay.
Let's wrap it up.
We're wrapping up. I got one more after. I know where you're going next. You're going Kyle Trask.
Oh, there's one after Kyle Trask that we can mention.
I scouted and I want to talk about.
There's one. I'll let you do that one because I haven't looked at him yet because I just kind of wrote him off.
Okay.
Kyle Trask, number 6, Heisman caliber season. Can make almost every NFL throw. Mm-hmm. He utilizes his team's strengths in Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. Solid throwing mechanics. Good measurables. Plus minus pocket passer. We know that the league is transitioning away from that. We know what he is. Minus, lacks elite arm strength. Minus, LSU and Oklahoma games sent his stock plummeting. There were arguments there he was QB3-ish before the LSU and Oklahoma game happened because of how high. I mean, he was getting the Heisman. Heisman quarterbacks, it always goes up from there. Struggled heavily without his star players in the bowl game. Got benched. Got benched for various reasons. It wasn't totally because of play. I think it was just a kind of look to the future and give it a whole, save Kyle Trask's health for one, all sorts of different reasons. Last thing, should have returned to Florida for one more year.
Yeah, he should have. I absolutely agree. Look, okay, so you're good on that.
Pro comp Kirk Cousins.
Wow, yeah, that's not a bad one. I first of all, that's my biggest thing about Kyle Trask. He should have gone back. There's a lot to like about this dude. There really is.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
Listen, he needs to clean up some mechanical issues. It's not major. Love the torque that he is able to get with his hips. I'm gonna squeak on my chair a little bit here, but the torque that he gets on his hips and upper body, awesome. Needs to match his lower body to his upper body though, as far as throwing the football. It feels like he is pretty flawless from here to here as far as throwing the football. Amazing torque, pretty good arm. Gets a lot out of what the arm that he has, because you're absolutely right. Not an elite arm by any means, I would say. And if could be NFL average, maybe, because you said Kirk Cousins. Listen, people are going to say, oh, below average or average isn't. There's only 32 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks.
Kirk's a top 15 to 10-ish.
So I would say he's a little bit under Kirk as far as like throwing ability, but he does make up for that with like really good torque from his shoulders and hips and all of that. Again, I think you could get even more out of that if he matches lower body to upper body. Really like that. When he's outside of the pocket, he moves a little bit like Carson Wentz circa like 2019. So like he has a little bit of mobility there for him. Power, like I said that already, power's coming from the upper body. Where I want to go with this.
I was trying to think of all these other comps for him. I thought of Sam Bradford because at one time Sam Bradford was a Heisman winner. A lot of people may not know that or just forgot about it. He was a highly touted prospect, good quarterback. A lot of the same tendencies that you see. He can make the touch passes. He can make those middle window throws that you want to see. Yeah. It's just
really,
talent around him. I don't know.
Really good at throwing. Like he made some throws to guys that really weren't open, or at least by college standards weren't open, and made some tight throws at times that I really liked. At least showed the potential to do that at the next level. One thing I loved about Kyle Trask, he was really comfortable with guys around him. Didn't affect him a whole lot. Guys in the pocket, like pockets collapsing, he can get the ball out.
There's a happy medium with that, though. There's being comfortable with pressure, and then there's being oblivious to
for sure.
Situations.
Absolutely.
You're saying he has that balance.
Yeah, I'm saying when he's getting the throw out and guys are around him a little bit, you got the defensive line trying to bring him down, tapping his shoulders up, doesn't phase him, gets the ball out accurately, things like that. I love that in the quarterback, especially at college, because it's not going to get easier in the NFL. So I really, really love seeing that. I see a lot of potential for Kyle Trask. I really do.
There's a lot of potential. Kyle needs to go back.
The way you described Mac Jones, I think I feel about Kyle Trask. Yeah. I think Kyle Trask has everything Mac Jones has plus some, in my opinion. So I do think Kyle Trask is significantly ahead of Mac Jones for me. I know you put him at, that's kind of...
It's hard for me in my head, but there is a world where I can spin it just because I'm thinking if you put Mac at Florida this year, I don't think Florida does as good.
No.
If you put Trask at Alabama, I don't know. Trask can make every throw that Mac made pretty much on there.
Yeah.
I'm just very impressed by Mac's deep ball overall.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that I know that those throws have a place in the NFL and what he's able to do. Trask just left a bad taste in our mouths with the LSU Oklahoma game.
Listen, he should have gone back to school because there's like
next year Sam Howell and the kid from Cincinnati, can't think of his name off the top of my head. I wish I could. After that, there is a huge window where Trask could submit himself.
Could have gone in there. And look, and the thing is, this is the defense we got from Colin, our friend who's a big Florida guy. Trask played without Pitts or Tony in that last game. Those were his best options. Those were the guys he looked to throughout the year, especially the games I watched. So that was I think a huge detriment to him and definitely hurt his stock, obviously. But that's probably a good reason why he struggled. Like he's thrown with guys that are backups that he never really practice with.
You're telling me it's supposed to be technically not the biggest game for them, but it's the bowl game. The way to end your year right.
Yeah.
And the guys you've gone to battle with every single week are just not there.
And they made the decision that was best for them. Kyle Pitts is the first tight end taken unless he gets significantly hurt.
He's got it. And
Kadarius Toney,
borderline first round pick.
He could go to the Chiefs at 31, and he would be fucking awesome. So I'm a big fan of Kadarius Toney. We'll get to that another time. I like him. Look, it's good. I think he's more mobile than Mac. I think he's got a better arm than Mac. He can't throw. Like if he's off balance, it's not going to be great. For the most part, like he needs his mechanics. He needs that upper body. Again, not an awesome arm, but really like makes up for it with being able to the other things that he does.
I saw people saying Chad Pennington. And that's a throwback.
I don't...
Because he throws... Chad Pennington was famous for, the rainbow balls and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have said Chad Pennington.
I think Trask is better than that.
Yeah, I do too. I don't do player-to-player comps. Like I said, the only comp I have on my list was comparing him to Carson Wentz when he's movement-wise out of the pocket, and that's not size or anything. That's literally just the way they move looks similar to me and reminded me of Wentz. I try not to push comps. If I don't have one, I don't know. I don't have a good comp.
That's fine. I was trying to think of one.
He's a tough one to comp. You're right. Yeah, because I can't think of one off the top of my head. Kirk. Kind of. I feel like he's more mobile than Kirk. Maybe I don't know.
I don't put Trask as mobile at all.
No, he's not mobile, but he can move. Like he can. If there's he's not going to make a living being mobile. No question about it. But if there's a window, he can get 10 yards if he needs to, kind of thing.
Maybe.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know.
Maybe a Carson Palmer then.
Carson, no, he's not as good. He doesn't have a good arm as Carson Palmer.
Exactly, that's
the tough.
Thing. You gotta find a quarterback who can make the throws, but you really just don't like the arm overall.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of where it's at. Because, you talk about the phrase "can make every throw" is kind of overused, and I know
it is.
I am definitely, I do it all the time, but I feel like it's overused in the same way like generational player is overused a little bit.
Yes.
Trask can't make every throw. Every throw means every single throw from every angle to every, that's at least my definition of every throw. It doesn't mean just, he can put the ball anywhere on the field. Well, yeah, most guys at the college level can probably do that. It's about how you get it there, and other things that go around it. But he's still good. I do agree. I think if the right team fell in love with him and fell in love with the potential, because that's the other part with Trask for me is I do see like a mold of a really good quarterback. Really, really wish he would have gone back to school and maybe could have, brought that out a little bit more. But, he makes the best decision for himself. So hopefully he made the right choice there.
You like him or Jacob Eason more whenever Eason was coming out?
Much better. Much more than Jacob Eason.
See, I liked Eason. I don't know why Eason got a bunch of shit, and he ended up going in the 4th round.
I felt like Jacob Eason didn't have like he had like an average to okay arm, and I didn't feel like he was very accurate
I felt
either.
like he had a fucking cannon, dude. I love Jacob Eason.
Yeah, I felt like he wasn't accurate. You're right. He did have he had an alright arm. He wasn't accurate. So like at least Kyle Trask is pretty accurate for the most part. So I feel like. Yeah, actually, I have a very good grade for his accuracy.
Close it up. Give me Jamie Newman.
Give me
the guy who we do not know much about.
Fucking love Jamie Newman.
What?
I love Jamie Newman. Holy shit, I was shocked how much I love Jamie Newman.
Did you see his Senior Bowl?
Dude, terrible. Yeah, but actually, I went back and watched it literally right before you got here. I was watching.
Horrendous.
Yeah, look, it was not as bad as people are making it sound.
I didn't even evaluate him.
First of all, you go back and watch the Senior Bowl. You can go on YouTube. This is exactly what I did. Went on YouTube, just watched every single play from Jamie Newman, and he took a bunch of sacks and everything. I think he took 4 sacks. 3 of them were not his fault at all. The other one, he probably could have gotten the ball out faster. Other than that, there was one horrendous throw. Beyond that, I feel like he's good. Sorry, guys. My phone's going off.
But right now, though, Jamie Newman sat out the year.
Yeah, look.
A year that he really needed to play.
Absolutely agree. Let me give.
He had to kill the Senior Bowl. He didn't kill it.
Like the potential. Love the potential.
Yes, look, there's potential.
This dude. Let's just describe him because a lot of guys probably never watched Wake Forest or anything, and he's not on anybody's radar. I get that. Physically imposing dude, big physical dude. Wake Forest ran a ton of quarterback power.
Yeah.
Just run him up the middle because he is he's
a stud, man. He was up for the Heisman.
Yeah, he's got a Josh Allen size to him, maybe even bigger. I mean, he's not quite as big as a Cam Newton, but he's got some size to him. Thick guy, like can stand in the pocket and make those throws. Has a rocket, like throws heat-seeking missiles every damn play. It feels like he is letting it rip. Love the arm strength. The arm talent. Maybe not as much, but the arm strength, just, the power behind his arm, love it. Let me go through here. Fits the ball into small windows at times. Also, hated Wake Forest scheme. Wake Forest's scheme did not help him at all, and his weapons didn't help him at all. Literally, this is the scheme. It is 2 wide receivers running deep routes every single play. It seems like that was it. I mean, it was QB power, and then we're gonna throw deep down the field. And it's like if shit's not open, like what's he supposed to do? So that kind of hurt him a little bit. But I love his deep ball passing. I'm a big fan of. Can he work through the progressions? Was one of my big questions here. Definitely, look, he's not a perfect prospect. I get that. I'm saying I liked him a whole hell of a lot more than I thought I would. I certainly you get into the conversation of like what he can be. I think he can be an NFL stud. I'm not going to say elite superstar or anything. I think he could be an NFL stud if you, again, gave him a year in the same way I feel like about
You're right.
Trey Lance style.
The league is he's Trey Lance is a 10 times better prospect than Newman, though, off the rip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think Trey Lance has the it factor, and we've seen the accuracy. I think Jamie Newman in some areas, yes, protect yourself because of the COVID year, man. But we really,
Look,
who told him he's a first-round quarterback? You don't sit the fuck out if you're not a first-round quarterback.
Wish he would have come back. I absolutely agree. I think he was given really bad advice. So I'm not defending that. That
messed him up, man.
I am talking about play on the field, and you're right. Look, I'm grading him off 2019 film. I don't know what he did for the past year. He could have been sitting around eating Oreos. The Senior Bowl, from all reports, was not good in practice, and the game he didn't blow anybody away. Look, he threw an interception that wasn't his fault. I already talked about Senior Bowl, but I'm talking about my evaluation of 3 or 4 games from 2019. there's a lot to like.
He's electric.
He looks to run when the play. Good. I'll be honest. Look, he's not. He wants to run the second the play breaks down. He's trying to get out of the pocket and run. So that's not great. He's not quick. He has some build up speed and he's kind of fast, but he's not quick by any means. And when you're a quarterback and you're mobile, you really would rather be quick than fast. Because you want to get out quick and at least get as many yards as you can. Very accurate on the run at the pocket. Like I have no problem with his accuracy. Stares down receivers like he is locked in. He is locked in on one guy and he's throwing to that guy. So that needs to be fixed. His mechanics overall are pretty good, but they could definitely be better. But again, that actually gives me hope that you can improve his arm. It's already awesome, but I think he could even get better with some help. Has a tendency to rush throws when he's pressured, and I hate that because he's so big and so tough and so strong that just stand in there, make the throw, get it out accurately, and don't rush it. Yeah, you're gonna get popped, but you're gonna get the ball out, and you're an accurate dude if you don't push yourself. I feel like I like him a lot, man.
That's the thing is I don't want to be this Jamie Newman hate guy. If he played this year at Georgia and if he was able to do the same things he did sometimes, not most of the times at Wake Forest, because he was a great quarterback there. Not sometimes.
He put that team on his back.
Yes,
he did.
I needed to see some of those things translate to this 10-game SEC schedule though against elite competition, and really see if he could have worked on it, because then he's right there with the Trey Lance.
Yeah, no, look.
Then he is. But right now, based off not seeing him for a year, I know I haven't seen Trey Lance either, but I also didn't see Jamie Newman come out and do well at the Senior Bowl.
No, look, I get it, and I'm not arguing with you, man. I understand. I hate the decisions
Trey
he's
Lance
made
going in the first round. Jamie Newman's a toss, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think look, I'm here. I'm willing to be different. I'm not letting anybody else's opinions or anything impact my grade. My grade on the field, he's in the same range for me as a Trey Lance as far as ranking goes. He's gonna be in that same range for me on ranking. I know that's bold, whatever. I get it. Man, there's nothing about him physically that makes me think he can't be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I think it's what's between the ears.
That's a big question. Hey, look, I don't get to grade that. I don't get to know that. And you're absolutely right. I don't know who's been talking to him, got terrible advice. I feel the same way about, I actually like Newman's more, I like Newman's potential a lot more than Trask, but I feel the same way about them in the sense that go back to school, really build up your stock, because right now you're the sixth guy and nobody's talking about you. You're not getting hype. At the end of the day,
seventh.
Yeah, seventh guy. You're right. Yeah, because of Mac Jones. I get that. Well, not even it's Kyle Trask for you.
Well, that's how hard it is though.
I get it. I do get it. I 100% get the hate. I'm saying I really liked his 2019 film, and I really like what that could mean in the NFL and how that could produce. I don't want him to start in 2021. Again, this is me kind of fighting against a narrative. I don't want it to be I'm in fucking love with Jamie Newman. I really liked it, but I really like Trey Lance too. I thought the potential of Trey Lance is awesome. I just think the potential of Jamie Newman is also awesome.
Okay.
And I'm not even saying I wouldn't put. I think Trey Lance and Jamie Newman are in the same tier for me. Jamie Newman's probably behind him, because Trey Lance just has some really good physical ability, but Newman has just the arm, arm wise, I have no problem with his throwing ability. There's obviously things that I've talked about that I don't like at all.
I love the accuracy from Trey Lance though.
Yeah, no, I think
he is undersold, because I think people hear the Trey Lance vibe and it's it's a big dude who can just run the ball. It's no, he can really make a lot of the throws that you want. He has tight windows, strength, all of it.
To be fair, to compare Jamie Newman's play to Trey Lance's play, they're different guys, completely different guys. So I don't want to give that I don't, because Jamie.
No, you're saying that. You're saying they're
in the same tier of
rank your quarterbacks.
They're in the same tier in the sense that I want them to go to the right spot and sit for a year, and I think they can be special. That's kind of where I put him at. Yeah. So look, I don't think he made the right decision to stay to go to the NFL. I wish I would have seen a better Senior Bowl. I wish a lot of things for this dude. But at the end of the day, I still think there's a lot of potential, and I'm hopeful that he can reach it.
I want him to as well.
Yeah. We don't root against any of these guys. I hope Mac Jones is awesome in the league. Yeah. But we have to draw lines in the sand and exactly. Think what we think. So yeah. Anywhere else?
I'm good, man.
Hey guys, that was our quarterbacks. We went through 7 quarterbacks. I really hope you enjoyed that, because look, if you enjoyed that content, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our podcast. That is what this show is going to be up until the draft. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. We're gonna break down the guys. We'll still keep you informed on the news and everything.
There's gonna be a lot of good opinions coming with running backs.
You look, me and Jacob, we are good friends. We love our banner. We are not afraid to disagree. Nope. We both put the work in. I feel confident that we're gonna give you a lot of good stuff, and I think you'll be a smarter football. You'll know more about football if you subscribe to us. I'm trying to sell us a little bit here at the end. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.
Thank you. 7.